Good morning. Talk 97.3FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM. WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with retired U.S. Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond this morning.
Good morning, Moore County. One more day of Easter break. One more day of glad rags. But you've missed sunrise. Hurry up. Days are wasting. Get up and get at them.
There you go. Don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world as we speak. On our live video stream, that's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link is located. If you're on your mobile device, your YouTube app will do the work for you. If you're just put Mornings with the Leader Man into the search. Now, if you're on your mobile app, just say, hey, I just need audio. Well, that's available, too, from most any streaming service will do it, such as TuneIn, iTunes, Streama. All of those are available for free at your app store. Alexa will do it for you. Google Assist will do it for you. The only one that doesn't do it is iHeartRadio, and that's because they only stream the stations that they own, which is a bunch of them, which is why they filed for Chapter 11 not too long ago. But anyway, you can get us, just put WEEB in the search, and as always, that stream's available on our website at talk973.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says, on the air, listen live. Click that once, and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area, because finally, there's no mention of rain in the forecast.
Then why are you mentioning it?
Well, just to point it out, I guess. Sunny today, 73 for a high, but a big warming trend underway. We're going to be getting real close to 90 here. Tonight, clear and 53. Tomorrow, well, mostly sunny, high of 85. That's not far from 90. I guess that's when the Marine leadership will say, get those grunts out there. Some PT time.
Yep. Time to low crawl.
Tuesday, 85. Then for Tuesday night, partly cloudy, 62. Wednesday, 85 again, partly cloudy. Thursday, partly cloudy, 83, but we start to cloud up a little more on Thursday night. Small chance of a scattered shower. Look for a low of 65. But never fear, Friday will be here with mostly cloudy, scattered showers, 79. Chance of scattered showers early on Saturday. Nothing to really change your plans for. But for a high Saturday of 76, 77 on Sunday. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds west at 3, visibility wide open at 10 statute miles, pressures 3018, dew point 43, humidity maxed at 100%, and it's sunny and 43 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Did you go visit your family this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Took a little ride up there, did the Easter egg hunt thing, a little cookout.
Up in Virginia?
Yep.
Did we have fun?
Oh, yes. Always.
When we get back?
Yesterday morning. Yeah, about noon, I guess it was, 1 o'clock.
Okay, you were in a hurry to get out of there, I take it.
Well, there is the traffic thing, up that end, it's bad.
Yeah. All right, well, I went to ate Easter dinner with my nieces and nephews, and niece-in-laws and nephew-in-laws, all that good stuff. So, everybody got well fed, I guess. Then I come back to see the front page of the Pilot.
Oh, you mean I got to go shake out my birdcage liner? Do I need to?
And there I am on the front page.
Oh, well, that's a change.
At least they're listening to the program. They pulled a direct quote. I'm sure off the podcast about the school situation and the fact that we're getting screwed and big cover-ups underway.
Yes, of course.
John's going to be here. John Zimmer will be here next hour to elaborate greatly on this and show you the pilot's deficiency. Pilot, you see, they don't do investigative reporting. They pick a side.
Right. Yeah.
with a narrative already written and write to that narrative. And in this case, it's that the school board did no wrong, nor did the staff. Well, here's the bottom line in a quick nutshell, so it's easy to comprehend, at least where we're coming from. And that is, all you got to remember is one date, March 5th. That was the date Clancy and Thays issued a letter that said, basically, thank you for the call from your architect. Your architect contacted me and informed us that our bid was too high for your budget.
Right.
Summing that up, basically, they're saying, since you don't have the money to pay us if we build this thing, we are withdrawing our bid.
Right.
That's what the letter said. Then John came on our station and said, wait a minute. The statute says, heavens forbid somebody actually read the law.
Yeah, law? You mean a law actually
statute
covers this situation?
Yeah,
Wow.
covers this situation perfectly. The law says you have to request when you put up a bid for a public building, you put up a bid bond.
Right.
And that's to make sure you're serious and you just can't jerk, when they close the bidding, somebody can't jerk you around and upset things and throw your timetable off. So the bids were open. They were declared the lowest bid, but they had already withdrawn their bid, saying that your architect said we're over, so we're not going to build it. John comes along right after March 5th and says, wait a minute. I read the law, and the only excuse they give to withdraw a bid is due to a mathematical error,
right.
An unintentional mathematical error.
Right.
That's when, and plus we were past the statute limit, the statute time. You had to put in for a withdrawal of bid within 72 hours of putting it in. So they were well past the 72 hours when they withdrew their bid. And so they withdrew their bid based on the fact, why? Because the school board said, you're over budget, we don't have enough money to pay you.
Yeah, the architect.
So they picked two other statutes in the law that says, you can't pay me, I'm not bidding. I'm not putting you in a bid unless I know there are funds on the other side to cover it. Because we're talking $30 million here. And so they withdrew the bids on those grounds, nothing about a mathematical error.
Right.
It wasn't until after that letter came out and said what it said, then John came on and said, wait a minute, they don't get their bid bond money back because A, it wasn't done within the statute of limitation time, and B, it has nothing to do with a mathematical error.
Right.
Those were the only reasons that this state law gave to be able to give a bid bond back. Then, after that, voila, what happens?
Yes.
All of a sudden, we have a mathematical error.
2 + 2 = 3.
And John Brath and Grimacy are in on this thing, declaring, math error, they get their... And then now the school board comes in and says, I know it's after the statutory time, but we don't want to get into litigation over piddly million and a half of your dollars.
Yes, taxpayer dollars. Yeah, don't worry about the taxpayers. We don't need to worry about their $1 million.
Yeah, we have to live in the society and deal with these people. We might not get bids in the future.
Right.
And,
we're raising their property taxes anyway. Don't worry about it.
We get our little bonanza. We'll get it covered. And this is the kind of lousy management that we have right now.
And you know what? The other point of this thing is, anyway, the way the contract is written, it was going to cost well over the bid anyway. And we don't have the money to pay because, like you said, the groundwork was not covered. It was open-ended. There were many other caveats in there that were going to cost more money anyway, and the school board was going to have to come to the commissioners and ask for more than $30 million for that school in any case.
Well, here's the real. I was looking at this bid this past weekend. Here's the real catch-all that's really going to catch us all right in the hip pocket. And that is, on the bid, they have down, Clancy and Thays had down $300,000 for contingencies.
Right.
All right, what is the contingency on a construction site? Well, I'll give you a good example. All right, you got to waterproof your walls. So you dig out, dirt always falling in on construction sites around the walls and whatnot. But when it comes time to waterproofing them, you got to dig back down to the footings, clean off your wall so that your waterproofing adheres properly to it. And then all of a sudden you get several days of rain and mud washes in back against your wall. Well, guess what? It's got to be dug out again. That's a contingency expense that you didn't plan on getting rained on twice, and you got to dig it out again. So they put $300,000 down for contingencies, and quick math tells me that's 1%, which is going to be it's going to be about 9% short if the way things work out. And so they put down 1% as part of the bid. In other words, they're saying, okay, it rained, we didn't anticipate that, that's a contingency expense, goes in that column, where you have $300,000 built into this bid for the school. All right, well, let's suppose other things go wrong, which they will. And then we got, $800,000 of contingencies. Well, guess who pays the difference between the 3 and the 8?
Right.
That's right. You do.
Exactly.
That's like writing him a blank check. Everything that goes wrong will go into that contingency column. And that's about the dumbest way to take a bid. The contingencies belong to the contractor. He needs to build them into his bid, whatever it may be, because otherwise you got an open-ended check to you that you have to write.
And that was my point, that even at the get-go, when they said from our end that, we don't have the money to pay you, we already knew it was going to cost more than that to begin with, because even if they had the $30 million, based on what you said, we're still going to end up paying millions of dollars more.
Right. And there are other allowances marked in there also, which if they go over, for whatever reason, you eat it. And that's not the way you bid. When you bid, you put in contingencies. What percentage of this do I want to make a contingency? And, some builders put 5%, some of them put 10%. It just depends on your comfort level. But you eat the contingencies, not the taxpayer. Right. The taxpayer comes in and wants a major change.
Different
That's
story.
a different story.
Change orders are different.
Yep.
Hey, we want blue instead of green. We just messed up.
Yep.
Somebody changed their mind. That's on us.
Exactly.
Not them.
Exactly. So this is another way we're going to get screwed, but, with our super competent staff over there, John Brath and the like, not pointing this out because, I have an AIA stamp, so therefore I am correct. I'm just doing my John Brath imitation.
Oh, is that what he sounds like? Good Lord. I hope not.
I've dealt with architects before. They come, especially if you got two architects. I've done projects where it was a private government funding project, and then you have the private architect looking out for the buyer, and then you have the government architect looking out for the government. And they try to out-architect each other while they're out there. Like, how many flaws can I find? Well, I'll find a few more than you. How's that? That would prove me more superior because I'm the government. Stories I could tell. Anyway. That's another story for another day. But in this case, we're being played, folks. We're being played bad. And guess what? You're getting to take it, and they're trying to cover it up so well because this is what happens. Not only with the school board, it's with every board in this county. Every single one of them. They don't have a gonad between them all because they will not stand up to their staff when they do wrong or when they make a bad mistake or make a bad judgment call. They always defend the staff regardless of the problem. And this is a case where our school board needs to buck up and say, you two guys screwed it up. We're in a mess, and we're going to get our $1.5 million from Clancy and Faze, and that's just too bad. If you don't like it, I can show you where the front door is. And you can be hitting it just as fast as you want to. You're probably going to be hitting it anyway.
Well, I don't know. They're going to try to wait it out.
Oh, please don't leave. We would have to work then. We'd have to be on top of a number or two.
Boy.
I thought being the school board member meant handing out little certificates of appreciation and things like that, and going to ball games and the like.
What's that Army term? Lickies and chewies? Yeah. Yeah. Just all that good stuff to the kids. Glad hand out.
Yeah.
Ball games, etc.
Anyway, John will be here next hour to enlighten us even more.
That'll be interesting.
But like I said, the pilot, they don't do investigative reporting. They just pick a side. And since I'm on this side, that immediately puts them on the other.
Yeah, no Socratic method there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they won't. I'll tell you one little thing. They do the dig at me because I've written them several times and said, our image line is this. It's Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. That's our name. But they'll always say, oh, little AM radio station.
Yeah. Well,
that gets under my skin. They know it.
Well, it's, little birdcage liner to me. So after this discussion, I don't need to shake it out. And
I know 90% of you hadn't read the article in the pilot about it because you know what you get. Nothing. You start out with, the pilot did this and this and this. Yeah, pilot went and got what they wanted to fit their narrative.
Yeah, there's...
make sure the school board shines. Make sure they look good. Only write that stuff. Don't write the truth. Don't call Steve.
Right,
even though we're going to quote him. Don't call him.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're real reporters, aren't they?
No, actually, they aren't.
Mm-hmm. All right, 7:47. Let's get to some fun stuff here. You know what today is, don't you?
No, actually, I don't.
Maybe this will remind you because this day's celebration started back in 1970 from the most trusted man in America.
A unique day in American history, a day set aside for a nationwide outpouring of mankind seeking its own survival. Earth Day, a day dedicated to enlisting all the citizens of a bountiful country in the common cause of saving life from the deadly byproducts of that bounty. The fouled skies, the filthy waters, the littered earth. The gravity of the message of Earth Day came through. Act or die.
Act or die. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Well, all together now.
Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day to you. Happy Earth Day, planet Earth. Happy Earth Day to you. Buy solar panels today. Don't throw those plastic bottles away. Recycle them. Buy an electric car tomorrow, or we'll all be dead in 12 years.
There you go.
Well, all those electric car guys, they should get a solar panel, put it on the hood of their car, get one of those little wind generators and stick it on the top, and that should be it. They shouldn't be allowed to plug in to a regular outlet where coal or oil or natural gas generates that electricity, and let's see how far they get.
Yeah.
No plug-ins for you.
They get as far as their current charge for carrying them.
You get one free charge from the dealer. That's it.
All right.
Nuclear power. Forgot nuclear power too. Can't.
Yeah,
use
can't be.
nuclear power.
No. All that's clean energy.
Yep.
No pollutants with it. Well, you have to store the radioactive stuff anyway, so therefore you can't.
Right.
Little do you know that half of all nuclear waste does not come from power plants.
Yeah.
Come from medical.
Yep. Yes, it
and
does.
Military.
I have a brother-in-law. He's one of these guys.
Real tree hugger.
Yeah, tree hugger and all this kind of stuff. And he finally one day was talking about all this stuff, and and made the comment that the only way we can be self-powering is with nuclear energy, and almost fell out of my chair. Oh my God, what happened to you?
Well, they over in France, they do things like they have many nuclear power plants.
Yes.
They are nuclear reactors that are encased in concrete.
Right.
And they're made for towns like the size of ours.
Yes.
And they go buried in a spot.
Yep.
Like I said, this is all hardened concrete that nobody can go in and break up. If they break open, they're going to die.
Right.
But you can't break this stuff open. And you bury it way down deep, and it's secured. And it provides the electricity for a town.
Yeah, smaller generator.
Yeah.
Well, go think about it. We've had nuclear generators on ships, aircraft carriers and submarines. A submarine generator can power a city, a fairly large city. And those are very small reactors. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, same concept. This distributed energy rather than one big thing sitting on a fault line somewhere. You use smaller ones. And when their half-life is done, the French take that and reprocess that ore. Mm-hmm. And
bury it again.
Yes, use it again and again and again. We don't do that. No. And by the way, where the French got that technology to reprocess their ore, their rods?
Us.
They got it from us.
Yeah.
And then we promptly passed a law, forbidding ourselves to use it.
Of course, because we're so smart sometimes.
Yeah, we're so smart, we're idiots.
All right, let's help our senior citizens this year. People in the golden years prefer using walkers sometimes, and we have one that beats the band here.
Even though I'm older,
I'm still active, and that's why I love
my Easy Rider walker
it has bigger wheels
to get me through the tough spots.
Look at me go. So if you're our age
and you need a new walker,
get the Easy Rider walker. And if you're younger,
we've got news for you.
Someday this is going to be you. You'll be young forever. That's what we thought. I'm on the way to my third doctor's appointment this week.
So fun.
Hope you're saving some money. I think I just wet my pants a little.
Me too.
Again.
I know that guy.
Well, now that Easter is over, have you got a peep hangover from all the peeps you've eaten?
Easter's over and you feel like crap. Could it be the extra helping of ham or maybe one too many Easter cocktails? No, you feel like crap because you've got a peep hangover. Peep hangover. Did you know that 4 little yellow marshmallow bunny peeps equals 1 serving? That's 26 grams of sugar. 4 times the recommended daily amount of sugar you should eat. And now you've got a peep hangover. The only cure? The hair of the dog. Or hair of the bunny. Finish off those peeps. You know you want to. This message brought to you by sugar, corn syrup, gelatin, food coloring, and diabetes.
Well, there's a new website. You've been on Facebook or Instagram. You see all your family all the time posting pictures of vacation here and there and around the world, and you go, I guess I'll never get there. I have to live vicariously through them. Well, there's a new website called fakeavacation.com. This is true. This is not a spoof here. You send them normal photos, pick a famous destination, and they'll doctor the photos to make it look like you went on a trip. Then you can brag on social media about spending all the money. From what we've seen, the results won't fool many people, but...
Introducing Fake a Vacation. Instead of going on an expensive vacation, you go somewhere nearby, have fun, and take some pictures. You choose a destination of your choice and place your order. Send us the pictures you took, and we send you your vacation pictures showing you were at the destination of your choice. You can then share those pictures on Facebook, Instagram, or social platform of your choice. So next time when you can't make a vacation, fake a vacation. Packages starting at $39 only.
Can I send somebody on a vacation?
Well, a guy in Canada called 911 on Friday and said that he was stuck on a cliff in the rain. But when they responded, well, he stole the fire truck. They caught him, so now he's charged with theft and misusing 911. Here's a witness and a cop.
I was wondering if there was trouble at the park, because sometimes there is. I didn't hear anything. I saw the police, and then I saw the fire truck, and then one of our neighbors said, hey, they tried to steal a fire truck.
He'll be charged with the attempted theft. I believe that he has some court-imposed conditions that he's in breach of that he will also be charged with. What's being investigated now is the call that he made to police. If we can prove conclusively that that call was made, it was a false call, he will be charged with that. That will be public mischief.
Ooh, an attempted theft. I mean, he got in the truck and drove away. I thought that was theft. Grand theft auto, as a matter of fact.
Especially when they're driving those $10 million trucks.
Yeah, it should be
$1 million truck.
That should be a felony right there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You know, that was in Canada, right?
A study just found the worst jobs in America, and somehow public relations for Facebook didn't make the list. The rankings are based on the average pay, projected job growth, and stress. I got the 10 worst. And the worst one in America is a taxi driver. Yeah.
You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here. Who do you think you're talking to? Oh, yeah? Huh? Okay. Huh?
Well, that was number one. Well, number two worst job in America, a logger.
A logger? That's the most dangerous job.
That's a tough job. You will encounter snakes as a logger.
Oh.
Number three, our friends at the Pilot newspaper reporter.
Yeah,
because we sit behind our desks and don't call anybody that we want to write about.
Yes,
we just write about them.
They'll encounter an angry peep sitting on their desk from Easter.
Number four worst job, retail salesperson. Number five, this won't apply to you, but it will apply to a lot of people you know. Enlisted military personnel. Study admits it's tough to put serving your country in the worst jobs list, but the low pay and the stress is high.
It is.
Do you agree with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Coming from a Marine colonel, you can take it to the bank.
Well,
this is just talking about the enlisted personnel.
Yeah, there's
the non-officers.
Specific specialties, even worse. But yeah, generally speaking.
Number six, corrections officer.
Dude, yeah.
Dangerous job. Dangerous job.
Yep.
Number seven, DJ.
DJ.
Yeah.
You can get that record.
We don't spin records here. So.
Okay.
Number eight, broadcaster. But some of us just make it look easy.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the average new radio station lasts 2 years.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And we've been here 28 so far. Number 9 goes along with broadcasting, advertising salesperson. And number 10, a painter.
Painter. Smelling all those paint fumes, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. I don't really have time to get much into anything else before that news is going to pop in here in the weather forecast. So, coming up next hour, John Zumwalt will be here with an extended Zumwalt zone. Jeff and I will also be here to pepper him with questions.
Yes.
So we can get to the bottom of all this. Since the pilot can't do it, we'll just have to do it for him. Everybody's got to do their job. All right, 8 o'clock, we'll be back.
Temperatures will continue to warm up for us as we go into the middle of the work week, but we have to get past this chilly morning. We'll notice our temperatures in the 40s and 50s climbing into the lower 70s by the afternoon under mostly sunny skies. By tonight, we'll fall into the lower 50s, keeping things mostly clear. As we go into tomorrow, our highs will be a little bit above average for this time of the year in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Questions being raised about whether Sri Lankan authorities could have prevented the string of Easter Sunday suicide bombings. It killed 290 people and wounded 500. The country's health minister says officials failed to heed warnings from intelligence agencies about the threat of an attack by a domestic Muslim terrorist group. That group is blamed for the bombings targeting churches and hotels. President Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, says there was nothing wrong with the president's 2016 campaign, accepting information from the Russians.
Giuliani called the Trump campaign's effort to get political help from representatives of the Russian government possibly ill-advised, but not illegal. He told 3 Sunday talk shows that there was nothing wrong with taking the information. Meanwhile, House Democrats are pledging stepped-up investigations into campaign misconduct following the release of the Mueller report.
White House correspondent Craig Clugston. Some longtime U.S. allies could be punished for continuing to buy oil from Iran.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is set to tell Japan, South Korea, Turkey, China, and India that they'll no longer be exempt from U.S. sanctions if they continue importing oil from Iran. During an announcement this morning at the State Department, current sanctions waivers for the 5 nations expire a week from Thursday, and it remains unclear if any of them will be given more time to wind down their purchases or if they'll be subject to U.S. sanctions beginning May 3rd if they don't immediately halt imports of Iranian oil. The move is intended to increase pressure on Iran by strangling the revenue it receives from oil exports. Matt Small, Washington.
Ukraine's presidential runoff has been won by a comedian who played the country's president on TV. Vladimir Zelensky trounced incumbent President Petro Poroshenko. World leaders, including President Trump, have congratulated Zelensky on his victory. Wall Street Dow futures down 64. More on these stories at townhall.com.
2 short months ago, the world was in a complete frenzy over the market disruption. And now everything is A-OK, just peachy, right? We think not. Actually, not even close. Investors could be in for a rude awakening sooner than you may think. Don't commit the costly mistake so many other clueless retirees are going to make, getting caught with their pants around their ankles. For a limited time, you can get a 100% free copy of the Roadmap to Safe Retirement Income ebook from Knight Strategic Wealth. You cannot find this ebook anywhere else, and you'll want to read what's inside. It's a step-by-step plan for anyone over the age of 55 who would like to enjoy a stress-free retirement. Text free to 48542 and we'll send this eye-opening guide to you instantly. If you want to be able to enjoy life comfortably and never run out of the means to do so, then the Roadmap to Safe Retirement Income is just for you. Text free to 48542. Text free to 48542.
A Chinese tech giant reports first quarter revenue jumped by 39%. $27 billion.
Huawei's results come at a time of intense scrutiny on the firm, not least from the United States, which accuses the company of spying for the Chinese government. The U.S. has been pressuring its allies to stop using Huawei products in sensitive 5G networks because of concerns over espionage, but these results appear to show that campaign has not worked. Huawei has categorically denied these allegations and hit back at the U.S.'s claims by saying they're born of jealousy over Huawei's technology and not of fact. The company has been attempting to defend its ownership structure to the media in the face of recent speculation that it is effectively owned by the Chinese government.
That's BBC's Karishma Vaswani. Tensions escalating in Sudan after talks broke down between protesters, country's military rulers. News and analysis at townhall.com. Cost of filling your tank continues to rise.
If you feel like every time you fill up your car, the price of gas has increased.
The new average price of regular grade gasoline is $2.91. It is up 13 cents over 2 weeks. It's up 25 cents over the past month and 60 cents since early January.
Fuel price analyst Trilby Lundberg adds the hike is not just about the price of oil.
The transition to higher-cost summer blend gasoline adds a few cents, and on top of that, we have had a number of different refinery issues around the country.
While drivers are paying around $4 a gallon in some parts of California, the lowest average is $2.45 in Baton Rouge. I'm Shelley Adler.
2 people are dead in the crash of a small plane in Texas. It happened near the airport in Kingland, about 50 miles northwest of Austin. Both of the victims were on board the aircraft. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What keeps your house toasty warm, cooks your food and heats your water, and gives you a great excuse to hang out in front of your fireplace? Propane gas brought to you by McNeil Oil and Propane of Aberdeen. McNeil Oil and Propane can handle all of your propane or heating oil needs. Call them at 944-2329 and have them come out to fill your own tank, or they can provide you with a new one. When you need propane or heating oil, call McNeil Oil and Propane today at 944-2329. That's 944-2329.
This is Hand On Golf, live at the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida. I'm talking with
Michael Mahoney, Vice President of Golf Ball Marketing for Titleist.
Mike is going to tell us all about the new Pro V1 that they just introduced.
So we're thrilled to launch the new Pro V1 this year. The new 2019 Pro V1 and Pro V1X deliver more consistency, more precision, and more speed. We talked to golfers going as far back as 2 years ago about what they were looking to improve. They asked us to deliver a golf ball that was longer and faster without changing any of the flight, feel, and spin characteristics that they love about Pro V1 and Pro V1X. So we did that by reformulating the core, thickening the casing layer, and making the cover a little bit thinner. The other exciting news, we're launching both of them in yellow, which is new for Titleist at Pro V1 and Pro V1X. We're excited about that. We think the golf balls are great. They've already been played all over the world, and PGA Tour players have won both on the PGA Tour in Australia with them. So we're excited about them.
Thank you, Mike. I look forward to playing the new yellow Pro V1. Available at Golf Augusta on Highway 1 in Southern Pines.
At Keys Appliance in Aberdeen, a modern, streamlined kitchen that makes your life easier is more affordable than ever. Because right now, you'll save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliances via online or mail-in rebate. Not only do GE Profile appliances look stunning, but with time-saving features like hands-free autofill, they're designed to make kitchen work much easier. So talk to the kitchen experts at Keys Appliance in Aberdeen and see how GE Profile appliances save you work and save you money. But hurry, this rebate offer ends soon.
Hi, this is Rich Wagner from Whispering Pines. I've been suffering with acute back and knee pain for many months, and after trying visits to the doctor, painkillers, and spinal injections with no relief, I went to see Dr. Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. After the first visit, I noticed a lot of improvement, and I've continued to improve with each treatment. Thanks to Dr. Wright, I'm feeling much better than I have in a very long time. I was skeptical about chiropractic treatment at first, but it has truly given me my life back.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
MCN News. I'm Mike Riley. Crews from the National Weather Service offices in North Carolina are confirming several tornadoes hit parts of the state on Friday. Meteorologist Scott Sharp is in Raleigh.
Right here across the central part of the state, it looks like we had confirmed anywhere from 6 to 8 tornadoes that came across the parts of the Piedmont and Coastal Plain late Friday afternoon, early Friday evening. Most of those are EF1 variety, which have winds anywhere from 85 to 100 miles an hour or so.
Crews from the National Weather Service determined that the EF0 tornado also touched down in Gaston County. The Trump administration is about to crack down on nations buying oil from Iran. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Some of these nations are key U.S. allies like Japan and South Korea. But Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will announce this morning that they will no longer be exempt from U.S. sanctions if they continue to import oil from Iran. The other nations are China, India, and Turkey. This is part of the Trump administration's plan to apply maximum pressure on Iran.
The coordinated Easter Sunday bombings had ripped through Sri Lankan churches and luxury hotels, killing more than 200 people, were carried out by 7 suicide bombers from a domestic militant group named National Throwak Jamaat. Health Minister Raja Saranath says that they have a small local radical Islamist militant group.
The organization is National Tawfiq Jamaat. All are locals.
Authorities say a man has been arrested after 2 children were shot in a road rage incident. Surrey County officials say 41-year-old Byron Donnell Green of Mount Airy is charged in the incident. A body was found in a ditch in Lenoir County after an apparent vehicle wreck over the weekend. The victim was reportedly at a party the night before and tried to drive when he crashed his vehicle into a ditch. Raleigh police have arrested 2 people during a Sunday afternoon protest against Confederate monuments at the state capitol. You're listening to NCN News.
There's no place like home. It has a certain magic of its own. And memories are made there every day. A lifetime of good times shared along the way. Have yourself a Bluebell Country Day.
In the age-old debate between vanilla and chocolate ice cream lovers, Bluebell calls it a tie. Our homemade vanilla is legendary, and our Dutch chocolate is a rich and creamy ice cream made with the finest imported chocolate. There now, everybody wins.
A lifetime of good times shared along the way. Have yourself a Bluebell Country Day.
Congressional Democrats will discuss the Mueller report findings and their options on dealing with the unsettled issue of possible obstruction of justice by President Trump.
I'm Tom Foti, with Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani telling CNN,
There's nothing wrong with taking information from Russians.
And in general, echoing the president on the Mueller report.
The president is innocent.
House Democrats meet by teleconference today to share their very different take and options. Among them, possibly the I word.
If there were not impeachment, I think history would smile upon us for standing up for the Constitution.
House Oversight Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings on Face the Nation. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
While rainfall in much of the state seems to have been plentiful of late, some areas, particularly on the coast, are still playing a little bit of catch-up. That's according to state climatologist Corey Davis.
Even though folks down there may be seeing wet ground, especially right along the coast, again, there are some longer-term deficits that they're looking at.
Newly released research says accidental suffocation is the leading cause of infant injury deaths in the U.S. Vicki Barker has a look at the numbers.
In the most detailed such study yet, the researchers found bedding implicated in roughly 70% of infant suffocations. Half occurred in an adult bed where most babies were on their stomachs. Of those bed deaths, 1 in 5 infants suffocated when someone accidentally moved against or on top of them. Roughly 1 in 10 when their faces became wedged against a wall or mattress. The researchers noting virtually all 250 deaths were completely preventable. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Governor Roy Cooper wants the federal government's help in assisting businesses in Durham, also feeling the results of a natural gas explosion at cash registers. Cooper has written the U.S. Small Business Administration asking it take action so that some Durham businesses can access disaster loans after the April 10th explosion. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Lovely conditions will persist across our area. We will see a warming trend as well. For the afternoon, look for highs in the lower 70s. Temperatures will fall into the lower 50s under mostly clear skies. Sunshine will be in place by the afternoon on Tuesday with those highs in the mid-80s, and we're likely to see a little bit more humidity creep in as we go into the middle of the work week as well. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, sunny and 50 degrees, humidity 83%, 2.45, pressure 3021, winds variable at 5, visibility wide open at 10 statute miles. It's 8:13. Let's take a quick look at your Sand Hills news for this Monday morning. Late last week, a deputy in the Moore County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop in the Spies Road area, Moore County. A passenger in this vehicle was found to have outstanding warrants for arrest. When the deputy attempted to arrest the suspect, he assaulted the deputy and then fled from the scene on foot, evading arrest. After thoroughly searching the area, deputies suspended the search, went back, put together an advanced search team, and returned to the area and resumed the search, shortly after which they found the suspect and arrested him without incident. The deputies arrested Ryan Andrew Britt, 27, of Star, North Carolina, charged him with a whole lot of deadly weapon charges and whatnot. He's currently under a $150,000 bond for his assault on the officer. State Senator Tom McInnes has withdrawn his controversial legislation that would have prohibited towns and counties from regulating tree removal on private property without the General Assembly's permission. McInnes says that he received comments from proponents and opponents who are very passionate about the issues. He said his goal remains clear. One government main objective is to ensure that all citizens, individuals, and liberties are preserved. The proposed legislation generated strong opposition from municipal county government officials, the North Carolina League of Municipalities, and the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners argued that it would restrict the ability to protect neighboring property owners from development that could harm property values and take away more local control over development. And managing growth over the next several years, Pinehurst officials say, is going to require additional revenue. 3 guesses where that's coming from. The extra money would primarily be from a half-cent increase in property value tax rates under the 5-year financial plan that would be part of the latest version of the Village Strategic Operating Plan. That plan is tied to priorities and goals identified through the annual community survey that residents say is important. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by, here comes your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:17.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. Austin Matthews got the Maple Leafs going on a 2-1 win over the Bruins last night as the Stanley Cup playoffs continued. Let's go to Boston now and get the latest from Gethin Kubo.
Matthews, one-time rocket from the right circle, beat Boston goalie Tuukka Rask for the game's first goal with 8:27 remaining. Kasperi Kapanen made it 2-0 at the 6:15 mark before David Krejci scored with 43.4 seconds left to give the Bruins late life. Toronto goalie Frederik Andersen held them off from there to complete his 28-save night. Game 6 is Sunday in Toronto.
Elsewhere in the Stanley Cup playoffs last night, it was Colorado sending Calgary home. The top seed was eliminated after that 5-1 Colorado victory. In the NBA playoffs last night, the Thunder got their first playoff win of the year, outlasting the Trailblazers. Brian Henderson has that story.
Western Conference 6 seed Oklahoma City Thunder beat the number 3 Portland Trailblazers 120-108 in Game 3 of their first-round NBA playoff series. Russell Westbrook topped all scores with 33 points and 11 assists.
Just keep playing the same way, being aggressive, finding ways to pick my spots, and then concentrating once I get to my spot.
Paul George added 22, and Jeremy Grant had 18 points for the Thunder. Damian Lillard paced Trailblazer scores with 32 points. C.J. McCollum had 21, and Enes Kanter 19 points in a losing effort. The Trailblazers lead the series 2-1. Game 4's in OKC on Sunday night. Brian Henderson, Oklahoma City.
Toronto Raptors beating the Orlando Magic 98-93, and the Boston Celtics with a 104-96 win over the Indiana Pacers. Shane Lowry led the RBC Heritage at 9 under par with 2 holes left when it was suspended because of rain and darkness. You're listening to NCN Sports.
For 32 years, Merlefest, presented by Window World, has delivered music, moments, and memories to thousands. Join us April 25th through the 28th as some of Roots Music's greatest stars gather to perform at the annual musical homecoming. Hear the Avett Brothers, Brandy Carlisle, Amos Lee, Wynonna and the Big Noise, Daly and Vincent, Tyler Childers, Kev Moe, the Milk Carton Kids, Dale McCurry, the Earls of Leicester, Sam Bush, Steep Canyon Rangers, Molly Tuttle, Jim Lauderdale, and more. Visit merlefest.org today for the full lineup, to volunteer or purchase tickets.
Medicaid expansion, school safety, a statewide bond package, the next state budget. North Carolina lawmakers are tackling these and other topics. You can follow all the action with Carolina Journal. How would these proposals affect you, your wallet, your family? Carolina Journal offers answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
8 o'clock tonight in Washington, D.C., the Washington Capitals and Carolina Hurricanes play game number 5 of their playoff series. They're tied at 2 games apiece. Canes coach Rod Brindamore asked if he finds any reward in ending the team's decade-long postseason drought during his very first year as an NHL head coach.
It's been rewarding because obviously, I want to say where we came from, but where we were at as an organization, and I think we took a nice step, and obviously we're not satisfied where we are, but it's been rewarding to see how the teams come together and just how they've played. I think any coach would say that. If you're proud of your group, then it's rewarding.
Major League Baseball yesterday, Cubs winners over the Diamondbacks 5-1. Miami turned back the Washington Nationals 3-2. Yankees beat Kansas City 6-2, and the Red Sox over Tampa 6-4. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Hey there, cats and kittens. Grab your poodle skirt and leather jacket, hop in the hot rod, and head to the Temple Theater for Grease, on stage from April 25th through May 12th. The world's most popular musical comes alive on the Temple stage. Danny and Sandy and the rest of Rydell High's class of 1959 sing and dance their way through songs that have come to define a generation. Tickets for Grease are available online at templeshows.com or at the Temple box office. Sponsored by Norman Financial, Post Fouché Patton, and Miss Lacey's Magnolia House. Grease, on stage April 25th through May 12th.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call will be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
Come to Comfort Services in Aberdeen to get a free estimate on a new Carrier system or heat pump, and you may qualify for a rebate up to $2,000 from Carrier. Get in on the savings and purchase a qualifying heating or cooling product before the Cool Cash rebate ends June 30th. You may also qualify for financing options as well. Stop into Comfort Services on Highway 5 next to the Habitat store in Aberdeen, or call 910-695-2665. Carrier and Comfort Services, a great team.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
At Sand Hills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art Chief straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sand Hills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sand Hills Collision Center, because you deserve the best.
You know, a lot of car dealerships make promises that they just can't or won't keep. But in Cooper Country, a promise is more than words. It's a way of life. At Cooper Ford in Carthage, they do what they say they're going to do, when and how they say they're going to do it. That's the Cooper Ford promise.
I'm Aaron Cooper, and if you're in the market for a new Ford, you can't buy a new Ford car, truck, or SUV for less anywhere, guaranteed. Cooper Ford is the only locally and family-owned Ford dealership in Moore County. So for the month of April, to continue investing in our community, we are making Friend to Friend our organization of the month to bring awareness to domestic abuse as well as human trafficking, which means we'll donate $50 to Friend for every vehicle we sell, both new and used, during the month of April. With no games, no gimmicks, just upfront, honest pricing, and certified service after the sale. I'm Aaron Cooper, and I want to know you by name. Let Cooper Ford show you how car buying should be.
Just a few short minutes from the traffic circle off 15501 in Carthage, or on the web at cooperford.net. Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
Serving Moore County since 1960 and continuously owned since then by the Parker family, Aberdeen Exterminating's goal has not changed since that first day nearly 60 years ago: to provide prompt, courteous, dependable services at a fair price. Services include termite inspections and treatments, household pest control, flea and tick control, yard treatments, mosquito control, crawl space protection, new home pre-treats, real estate inspections, installing moisture barriers, bed bug treatments, and more. Pests are a part of life in the South, especially termites. That's something you can depend on, so choose a service company you can depend on. Call Aberdeen Exterminating for a free inspection. 944-2474. That's 944-2474.
Hello, I'm Pat McLean, and would like to welcome you to McLean Drug. McLean Drug is located at 735 South Bennett Street. We offer easy access, friendly, helpful service, drive-through pickup, and discount drug prices. And don't forget, at McLean, we offer pet and equine prescriptions. So when we say make McLean Drug your one-stop shop for all your prescriptions, we do mean all.
McLean Drug at 735 South Bennett Street in Southern Pines for all your prescription needs. 246-9355.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Somehow I missed this story when it happened last year. A man in Georgia had not shown up for work in several days. Someone called the police and asked them to check on him. They found the poor guy dead in his apartment. He'd been shot to death. Police figure he'd been dead for about 4 days. They said his Subaru Legacy was missing. Well, that's tragic, but it's really not all that unusual of a story, right? What gives this a little different twist is that he was shot by a former Georgia congressional candidate. He was her campaign manager. She turned herself in about the time his body was found. One more thing you need to know. She ran on, any guesses? Gun control. One of her quotes was, "A member of Congress should hold her or himself to a much higher standard than the bare minimum that many Republican members are currently using as a benchmark." Lecturing Republicans about ethical decisions. Actually, I think she's shown us perfectly the true liberal idea about gun control. It's very simple. Don't give a liberal a gun. They cannot control themselves. But you have to give them credit. They admit it. They want to keep guns out of their own hands. We should have listened to this lady and taken her gun away. That poor guy might still be alive. Nah, she'd have used a knife. I hope you'll all listen today when I tell you how badly the Pilot newspaper does their job. 8:30 on the extended live Zumwalt Zone.
Temperatures will continue to warm up for us as we go into the middle of the work week, but we have to get past this chilly morning. We'll notice our temperatures in the 40s and 50s, climbing into the lower 70s by the afternoon under mostly sunny skies. By tonight, we'll fall into the lower 50s, keeping things mostly clear. As we go into tomorrow, our highs will be a little bit above average for this time of the year in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
The weekend's over. We hope you had a great one.
I swear to God, I'm going to come down harder on you on Monday.
What is today?
It's going to be like a friggin' hurricane.
Today's Monday. Wow, man.
Well, then you better bring it.
Bring what?
Coffee and donuts?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already been booked.
What? That would make my day. Showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Unlike the Pilot, we say all the image line. They just go WEEB AM. No, we got 3 channels, Pilot. Learn them, live them, listen to them. Don't forget, of course, this program being seen in the studio with me this morning. We got John Zumwalt and retired Colonel Jeff Drummond, U.S. Marines. Good morning, guys. And good morning. And don't forget, of course, we are being seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available right now at talk973.com. Up top, middle of the page is where the link's located that will get you there. If you're on your mobile device, your YouTube app will do the work. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man in there. Leader Man, all one word. It's spelled like it sounds. If you're on your mobile device, just need audio. We suggest streaming service such as Streamer, TuneIn, iTunes. Many others will do it too. Put WEEB into that search. And as always, that stream's available on our website and at the upper right-hand corner of every one of our web pages at talk973.com. The icon says on the air, listen live. Tap it once, and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Sunny today, 73 for your high. Tonight, clear and 53. Tomorrow, they turn the afterburners on. Mostly sunny with a high of 85. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, 62. And Wednesday, they turn the humidity on. Partly cloudy and 85. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are variable at 5. Visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure is 3021, 2.45. Humidity 83%. It's clear. And 50 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:30 past the hour on this Monday back to work day. I hope you had a great Easter weekend. And John called, wanted to come in early today based off of an article in the Pilot because, as we all know, as we mentioned last hour, the Pilot pretty much they don't do investigative reporting. They just pick a side and write to their narrative. Because if they're going to quote me, you'd think they'd call me, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd think so, Steve.
Yep.
But even if they call you, they don't put your responses in there the correct way. Now, before I start today, I'd like to remind everyone of a story I talked about on here a few weeks ago, and I promise I'm going to tie it into today's subject. You might recall that a pilot for British Airways took off from London a few weeks ago with a plane full of passengers. He was on his way to Germany. When he landed in Scotland. A complete accident. How could a pilot do something like this? Well, apparently someone gave the pilot some bad information, and instead of checking the actual facts, the pilot just typed it into wherever they typed this stuff, and it ended off way off course. Now, you'd think a pilot would be more careful. It's my opinion that's exactly what the Pilot newspaper does. That's why I think I'll start calling them the pathetic pilot. Now, I don't expect you to call them that, but I do, because I think they're pathetic. And they admit to being the pilot. Let me tell you why I feel that way. But before I do, pathetic pilot, don't think you're going to hurt my feelings by giving me one of your little bogeys or double bogeys or triple or whatever it is you do that you think is so clever. Before you do that, I'm going to give you my award. And I don't use golf terms for my awards. I use something I know a little more about in military terms. I'm going to award the pathetic pilot the coveted Missing in Action Award because I believe you are missing in action when it comes to doing reporting. Shame on you. Too bad we cannot court-martial you. All right, let me get started with some of the ways the pathetic pilot has flown off in the wrong direction again. Everyone listening first, though, needs to know that we've got two sides here. One side's trying to get your money back, that $1.5 million Steve spoke of earlier, and one side's trying to make the company be able to keep it. And you need to know who we have on these two sides. On one side, we have the school board, led by Helen Wallen Miller, the chairperson. That means the entire school system, with all their means and all their internal legal assistance. And they've already indicated they are not going to go after that bid bond. They're not going to go after your money. Working for them, we have a very powerful and respected law firm out of Raleigh. They're generally thought of as one of the most respected firms in North Carolina. And if you're a top law firm in North Carolina, you're a top law firm in the United States. I imagine they charge a lot, and I bet they're worth every dime. Oh, also on the other side, trying to keep your money, is a gigantic architectural firm. A firm that has, by the way, made millions of dollars working for Moore County schools already. I can't wait to tell you more about this relationship, but not today. This firm employs lawyers also, and you know their attorneys are top-notch. There's more. On the other side, we also have multi-million-dollar construction companies. These companies have made tens of millions of dollars off schools. Oh, and they have experienced and talented attorneys working for them also. And carrying water for all of them, we have the Pathetic Pilot newspaper. It appears to me they just type in whatever information these guys give them to type. Now on this side, on your side, working to get our $1.5 million back, you have me. You also have the owner of this radio station, Steve Leader Adams, against all of them to broadcast the truth in opposition to the Pathetic Pilot. And by the way, as he stated, this is 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, 990 AM. Pathetic Pilot, can you just try to get that right? I'm hoping you wrote that down. Now, why are all these people, including our own school board, working so hard to keep that construction company from giving us our $1.5 million? Money I believe they owe us. Money I believe we can prove beyond a doubt. Now, just wait until you hear what the Pathetic Pilot had to say. And I'm going to start by quoting this hard-hitting piece of journalistic genius that will most likely win them another award. As I asked before, who are they competing against for these awards? Flea Market Weekly? Now here's a quote from the Pathetic Pilot. Quote, attorneys for construction firm Clancy and Thaves have confirmed and provided evidence that the company made a significant clerical error last month in its bid to build the new Southern Pines Elementary School, and they communicated that prior to the school system asking the county commissioners to help cover that cost overrun on the project. First, Pathetic Pilot, of course they confirmed it. They are the ones who owe the money. Do you think they're going to say, yes, hello everyone, we're here today to make dead certain that everyone knows that we definitely owe the Moore County citizens about $1.5 million. When you called them from your seat, which I doubt if you ever get out of, and asked them if they owed the money, they confirmed they didn't. That is ridiculous. Nope. As far as the Pathetic Pilot is concerned, case closed. The attorneys for the company have confirmed they don't owe the money. The Pathetic Pilot reported it, and that's the end of it. But let's get to what the Pathetic Pilot calls evidence they provided. Oh my gosh, I got to say that again. Let's go to what the Pathetic Pilot calls evidence. Now remember that word evidence. The pilot is convinced that these guys have provided evidence that they had a mathematical error, and that John Barath knew about it the day he went to the county commissioners and said that they had that. The construction company says they called John Barath on the phone and notified him of a math error. I can't wait to talk about this part of the Pathetic Pilot article. Remember, John Barath and Grimacy went before the county commissioners and told them the reason that Clancy and Thaves were withdrawing was because of a significant math error. You're getting tired of hearing that. I don't blame you, but it's important. But let me tell you what Clancy and Thaves actually said. I'll tell you again. Clancy and Thaves said they had received an email and a letter from Thomas Hughes. Thomas Hughes is an architect working for Moore County Schools, and he informed the construction company that their bid was in excess of the funds available for the project. He said the school board couldn't pay him, wouldn't be able to award the contract to Clancy and Thaves at the bid price. Well, the construction company said they couldn't perform the work at the reduced price. In the letter that they sent to Barath, they stated since they could not perform the work at the reduced price, they were going to withdraw their bid. This is documented in a letter that John Barath had on his person when he stood up and told the county commissioner something entirely different. Barath said the company was withdrawing their bid because of a math error, and there's no evidence of that. Now, why would he say that? And why would Grimacy back up that statement? We all have a copy of Barath's acknowledgement of this letter, in an email he sent back to them. So there's no doubt, zero doubt, that he knew the truth. But wait, remember, the pathetic pilot managed, through their amazing investigative journalism, another award, I'm sure, to find evidence that Barath was aware of a math error. They found evidence that Clancy and Thays had told John Barath in a phone call about the math error. Now, do you know what this evidence consisted of? Are you ready for this? Some screenshots from the executive's phone verifying that his phone had indeed been in contact with Barath's phone. That's their proof that they told him about a math error over the phone. And actually, for all we know, they never even talked. I have calls on my phone, from my phone to Barath's phone, about 8 or 9 of them last month, and I still have not been able to talk to him. All right, pathetic pilot, let me ask you a question. Imagine if I called your business office and they answered, and I asked them, how much does it cost to get your paper? And we chatted a bit. I asked them how they're doing, and they said fine, and asked me, and I said fine, and then we hung up. Now keep imagining. A month later, I came down to the pathetic pilot office and asked why my paper had not been delivered. Now, naturally, you'd look for some type of written documentation of my order, and obviously, you would not be able to find any. So, of course, you'd ask me to provide some evidence that I had actually ordered the pilot. This is when I'd pull out my phone and show you a screenshot, proving we had spoken, and that was evidence that I had ordered the pathetic pilot and I had paid you. Well, you, of course, would not accept that as evidence. If you did, you'd be fools. So why, oh why, would you ever expect us to accept a screenshot from the other side as proof that Clancy and Thays does not owe us $1.5 million? It makes no sense. And here's the thing. Does it strike anyone that with all these powerful people on the other side working against the message we're conveying here, the law firm, the architecture firm, the construction firm, the school system, and all their attorneys who understand the importance of documentation, the best thing they can come up with in all this time is a pitiful, pathetic screenshot of a few calls to Barath? It's evidence, all right. It's evidence of a random phone call. And why would they even bother to put a February 29th screenshot as evidence? According to their claim, they hadn't even discovered the math error at that point. In the words of Jed Clampett, some of you may remember him, pitiful, just pitiful. I think you guys need to rethink whoever hired the guy who came up with this idea. But you begin to understand that the pathetic pilot's true mission to mislead goes even deeper when you read the other stuff they typed for these people. Referring to the letter I just told you about, the one that explains Clancy and Thays' actual withdrawal because they were told they were over budget, the pathetic pilot says the following, quote, this is directly quoted from their newspaper. The letter does not state the nature of the error, and that would be the error of the math error. I'll start over. The letter does not state the nature of the error, only that the contractor was withdrawing its bid because he was told our bid was in excess of the funds available for the project. Pathetic pilot. Now, come on. That was bad even for you. You probably thought you were being tricky inserting that little sentence in your story. No, the letter does not state the nature of the error, and the reason it doesn't is because the letter does not even mention the error, any error. So why would they mention a nature of an error that they did not refer to and did not exist as far as anyone knew? And since there was never an error mentioned, why, pathetic pilot, would you try so hard to imply that there was? Try as you might, there's no mention of the error until days later when I challenged it on the air. And remember the Raleigh law firm that I mentioned earlier? Well, they advised Clancy and Thays in a letter to the letter that WEEB has posted on the WEEB website, and all of you have access to, that the proof Clancy and Thays had sent did not come close to documenting the math error. And that was 2 days after Barath and Grimacy told the county commissioners there was a math error. Let me say that again, maybe a little different way. Barath and Grimacy went before the county commissioners. They told them there was a math error. 2 days later, the Raleigh attorneys that the school board hired said, no, there was no evidence whatsoever of a math error. And we have no documentation that anyone knew about one, except those little chintzy screenshots that the pathetic pilot managed to dig up. Grimacy, Barath, do you remember what I told you to? You can't use something that hadn't happened yet as an excuse to back up your actions. Now stop it. Why is all this important? Well, it's the excuse the entire other side, is using to get out of paying the bill of getting out of paying us the bill, the $1.5 million they owe us from the bid bond. And the school system is backing them up, and I don't know why, but I have my suspicions. But even if you are still kind enough to let them off the hook for their phantom error, and they still did not withdraw that money that bid within the 72 hours required by the statute. That means they owe the money. They had to withdraw it within 72 hours. Now, don't believe me. Do not take my word for it that they did not withdraw within 72 hours. I want you to listen to John Barath's words as I read them. This is from an email he sent Clancy and Thays. Quote, while I believe there was an error, the statute does not allow you to withdraw the bid because the withdrawal request was not made within 72 hours of the submission of the bid. That is John Barath. That should close the case. That should be the end of it, period. They did not conform to the statute. They lose their bond. What could be more clear? They owe us. They owe you and I $1.5 million. And oh, by the way, the pathetic pilot keeps trying to act like Moore County schools release these documents out of their sincere desire to be transparent. No, they didn't. I had to put in Freedom of Information Act requests and then pound them to death. At first, I got 4 documents. They tried to act like that was it. I kept hounding them. I got 140 more pages. And apparently, I still do not have all of them since they released the amazing phone screenshots to the pathetic pilot, not to me. Not to me as requested and required by law. Remember, the screenshots were apparently part of the discussion. And here's what I requested, ladies and gentlemen. This is verbatim. My FOIA said, quote, I'm requesting a copy of all correspondence between these two companies and Moore County schools. This includes any correspondence sent on any cell phone or computer which in any way mentions the bidding. I didn't get that, and I imagine I still don't have it all. Funny, though, how things keep kind of showing up to help the other side. All right, let me change the subject just slightly. I'd like to address Helen Wallen Miller's statement, the one the pilot printed, the one she issued as the chairperson of the school board, the one that was supposed to, as she stated, set the record straight. No, ma'am. It didn't come close to setting the record straight. Now, we always have time constraints on the radio, but I do not want to tell you this is over. I do want to tell you this is not over. It's not going away. It's not finished. Steve's not going to forget it. I'm not going to forget it. You know, I like to make predictions. The ones I make are pretty easy to make, and so they always come true. Here's one for you. Barath and Grimacy will be back to ask the county commissioners for somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 million to outfit the new school. That $1.5 million we just gave away. I could be wrong. Might be more than $1.5 million, but watch for it. Here's another prediction. Sun's going to rise in the morning. And you know what else? Before this is over, I want to see the former school board exonerated. The school board that was made to step down by mob action. And when we uncover this mob action and why it was taken and what the results of it were and why he was fired in the first place, this current controversy will make a lot more sense to you. A lot more sense. I also want to see us get that $1.5 million, the one guaranteed by Travelers Insurance Company, the one that says they'll pay 5% of the bid if certain events do or do not occur. Well, that happened. Now just pay us the money you owe us, and school board go after it. Did John Barath and Grimacy make a recommendation to the school board they should ignore that bid bond? Did the school board even understand it, or were they misled or not fully informed? It's hard for me to believe that all of them would vote to ignore that much money. Helen Wallen Miller said it would not have been worth pursuing it because it was not a sure thing and it might have cost too much money. My answer to that is twofold. First, it's $1.5 million. Second, only 3% of these things ever go to court, and that's a 97% chance we'll get a settlement. The loser pays court costs. A 97% chance we win. Who is advising you folks? And let me say this, and this is just my personal opinion. My personal opinion is made from things I observe and things I read and don't read in the pilot. And since I don't have a three-man pompous editorial board like the pathetic pilot, pathetic, I forgot it the first time, I'm allowed to have my own opinions here at WEEB. And my opinion is I never want to get on a plane or read a paper where a pathetic pilot just types in the stuff people tell him to type without checking the facts, and then flies off in the complete opposite direction of where the facts should take him. I get my local news online from the Sandhill Sentinel. You get breaking news fast while you still care. It's accurate. It's free. You don't have to worry about a certain number of views and have to pay. And you know what else? It doesn't clog our landfills. This is Earth Day. You're never going to find a single edition of the Sandhill Sentinel out in a landfill. I also read the Aberdeen Times. The only time I read the pathetic pilot is to gather intel on the other side. Now, as we report this story, one sentence keeps going through my head. It's a sentence that people keep emailing to me. It's a sentence that people keep texting to me and calling me, and the sentence is, follow the money. Is anyone out there getting nervous? Our rally cry should be, quit wasting our money.
You know, good job, John. One thing that a lot of people don't know that I found out when I was talking to members of the staff up there and one of the commissioners, trying to talk them into building our own schools, which would save us about $6 million a school. If we just were our own general contractor, which is perfectly legal, and built our own schools, we save about $6 million a school. And one of the things that was told to me, and I won't mention the name because they're not here to defend themselves, but they said, they were shocked that all this is on the first school that was built out there on Camp Easter Road. And they said, we were shocked. They were delightfully shocked, I should say, that all the bids came within $2,000 of each other. So they feel like they were getting the right price on this building. I said,
no.
I said, you don't realize you just got played. I said, all that says to me is collusion, because nobody comes on a $30 million building. The 5 bids that came in are never within $2,000 of each other.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
They're talking to each other.
Yes. And that's why I'm saying in this case, one of the players is Clancy and Thays. J.H. Thompson Court put a bid in also. But back in the 80s, they had this similar situation there in Raleigh where all the paving contractors were talking to each other and deciding who got what job, and everybody else bid above it. And 8 of them went to prison over it. And I'm saying this stuff is still going on, it sounds like. Can't prove that. I'm just saying it's real suspicious. I also noticed that, as always, and I mentioned this last hour, that anytime a bad decision is made by staff, the governing board, be it the school board or Southern Pines or whoever, the governing board always surrounds the staff and defends the bad decision. It doesn't matter what it is. They're not going to let their staff look bad. And they'll defend it to the nth degree, which is what they're trying to do here. Because on May 5th, we got that letter from Clancy and Thays
that you dug out, and on May 5th they said that they're withdrawing their bid because they got that call from the school architect saying that their bid was higher than the funds available. So based on that they couldn't get paid, they withdrew their bid. That was the basis of the bid then. Then you brought out the part about, wait a minute, I read the law. The law says you can only withdraw due to a math error. Then and only then did all of a sudden the math error pop up and appear. And all of a sudden everybody's trying to somehow justify that math error existed long before it did. Well, no, they didn't claim math error in that letter. They claimed that they were told the money wasn't there. And they would, if it was a math error, they would have claimed that, but they didn't, right?
Right. You know, what is it? I always get this term. Is it cost engineering they talk about?
Value engineering.
Value engineering. I want to say a word about value engineering.
Which is their fancy way of saying trimming the fat off the plans.
Yes. If they get I'm going to make this up. Let's just pretend they get a bid that's $30 million. Well, John Baraff proudly announces to us, we did value engineering and got it down to $29 million, which was how much we had to spend. Now, let me ask you a question out there. If you know that you can bid high by adding things to the contract that are a little more expensive, and if you don't get it, then they will allow you to value engineer down until you hit the top part of what they can pay, why wouldn't you do it? Here is what I think the average everyday person would think. You want to do your value engineering? Baloney. You do it up front. You give me the best price you can give me. You give me the best materials for the money. You give me things that will be safe for the children. You give me things that are just a general person would like to see in a school. And don't fluff up these prices. There will be no value engineering because I expect you to have the low cost on every window that's adequate for our children.
Well, here's the thing. That would be a discussion you'd have with your architect because the architect issues the plans in what they call a specification book that specifies what doors, what bricks, what everything gets used in the system.
Yep.
And since we had a quote, I don't know his official title, construction director or whatever it is, John Brath is, that's when he should have taken them, those plans and those specs, and made sure that they weren't out of bounds with fluff in it. He should have gotten the trim out. He's an architect. He should know what we can live without and get that price down to where it's a nice school, but is not a monument to the architect. And he didn't do it.
Well, for years, John has had a reputation, deserved or undeserved, for wanting only the very best in schools, buying things that we didn't need, that were way too expensive. Now, I've got to say, a lot more coming. We're just barely touching the surface of this because I really did want to answer the pilot today. But I'll say this, there are some folks out there, and I'm pretty sure that some of them are listening, and you need to get a little bit worried. And it's too late to cover your tracks, I'll tell you that right now. But there's more coming, folks. And I don't care if you love Barath and Grimacy. Doesn't matter if you hate me. All I ask is that you just listen to the facts. You can't possibly go wrong if you'll just do that.
Yeah, but don't allow the school board to sit there and circle their wagons around a bad decision, which is what they tend to do. Not just our school board, but it happens at all the county boards. And whether it be a town board or whatnot, staff makes a bad decision. They never, ever overturn them. Never.
And they'll be saying things to you like, Zumwalt hates the children.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I'm the one trying to get the money back. Steve's the one trying to get the money back. And they just keep blowing it and not managing it well. And that's all we're really asking. And for the school board to start riding herd on them. That's your job.
Sounds like they're trying to... They're working for Clancy and Thays and trying to defend them, and they should be defending us. That's why we elected them, to look after our interest.
Well, there is hope that with all these powerful people on the other side, all they can come up with is a pitiful screenshots.
All right, John. Well, thanks a lot for a great job. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways, because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs for all of us. Don't forget, Millions of Americans, they have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the dog. We'll all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the dog park.